Alrighty, welcome to the weekend video. This is Enda here from bullwebs.org, and I'm going to start this video with just a little, how would you say, a presentation of the product that I do on my website. This is the nightly update that I do for members of the website. So you basically get onto the locked page in the members area, and you get to view the latest charts. And I give a blurb on each chart and on each hourly chart, and I tell you where my eyes are kind of looking at tomorrow. So it gives you kind of a rundown of what happened in the short-term action, how that relates to the longer-term action, and where we should be going from here. So this is I go through. I give a written update on 8 of the markets, and then at the end, silver is the end of it. And then I give the updated charts then for 4 extra markets. So I suppose it's just kind of like keeping a balanced view across what's happening in the world. I just want to point out this is a daily chart that I printed way back in God knows when. Whatever the top was. Back in February, was it? Or yeah, was it February or January? I can't remember. Anyway, we were looking at a top in a wave B and projecting a massive decline into a wave C. And you know, it was back at 70,000, and now is Bitcoin right now. So the wave patterns do work. Sometimes you have to be patient, but they do work. The triangle. I'll get into the triangle Bitcoin later on. Anyway, that is the product that I do for nightly subscribers. If you're interested, get over to bullwebs.org and check out the membership offers. Okay, so let's get on to the subject matter of the day. Okay, now this is euro dollar, the hourly count. You can see here on the 4-hour count. I think it was last week we came to a conclusion that the final 5th wave down in green was actually an ending diagonal. The rally out of the low at 95.37 was enough to consider a possible turn in the making. So we were looking for a 1-2 pattern out of the low, and we have now a good candidate for a 1-2 pattern out of the low. So here's the hourly count. You can see 5 waves up, triangle, 4th wave. Wave 1 in blue, and ABC down in wave 2. The decline in wave 2 just pipped below by maybe 1 or 2 pips the 50% retracement this morning, and now we have bounced slightly off that fib retracement level. In terms of a picture, it's a pretty good picture. It does suggest a rally coming next week. We'll see how that goes, obviously, but let me get a drink of coffee. 3 waves down, a corrective higher low, and with the possibility of a 3rd wave coming our way next week. Now, if we get a break of the wave 1 high again, at kind of at parity there, that'll probably suggest that wave 1 of 3 is underway. So that is the outlook for next week. We're probably turning pretty bullish right now. If this is a long-term, or let's say at least a medium-term bottom in wave B for euro-dollar, then we should see a sizable rally from here, maybe back towards the 120s again. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, cable. Ooh, what happened to the chart there? Yeah, we were tracking this wave one low in cable and looking at a possible retracement higher in wave 2. There's a couple of options here, but so far so good to the upside. Let's see how the hourly count. I mean, a couple of options. I cannot just leave that without saying something about the options. Let's get into right. It should be a 3-wave pattern higher. Stay with me here. 3-wave pattern higher, and I am looking at, let's say, probably about the 130 level again for cable to top out in a 2nd wave. That is, there's a couple of let's say, shoulders here that we could aim for. Even the lower end, even if we were to go to the lower end on the wave 4 left shoulder here, we would probably suggest a rally towards 125 for wave 2 to complete. I don't think it's beyond the realms of possibility that we get up towards 130 as 3 waves higher completes. Now, how this rally off the low is going to subdivide is still up for debate. At the moment, I'm looking at a possible 5-wave pattern underway in wave A, but you can also read this at 1 degree lower here. So this could be a 3-wave. This could be overall a 5-wave rally in wave A, or even a 3-wave rally in wave A. It just hasn't revealed itself yet. There hasn't been enough action yet to kind of, let's say, decide on what is the best fit pattern there. For the moment, we just have we're sticking with this 5-wave pattern higher in wave A. We've got a 3-wave. We were looking for a 3-wave decline this week. We got a 3-wave decline. We held above the wave 1 low at 109.29. That was the cutoff point for this pattern. So for the moment, we're looking up towards a wave 5 of wave A. And we'll see how the pattern goes over the next couple of days to see if we need to change our attack on wave A in red. But so far, so good. We'll see how it goes. Okay, Dorian. Still no move off the high. This could still be viewed as a wave 1 and 2 decline. I'm kind of sticking with the it's not a failed 5th wave, but it's a lower 5th wave than that internal B wave high. You'll see it on the hourly count. But for the moment, we're kind of in a bit of a limbo. We seem to have, a head and shoulders pattern complete around that B wave high, but we don't have any, let's say, impulsive move lower to confirm that either. So if we do take as true the patterns in Eurodollar and cable, which suggest a serious rally underway, this should transfer to dollar yen as the opposite. So we should see a pretty sizable decline, corrective decline, mind you, in wave 4, but that should manifest, over the next few weeks as a decline, probably towards that 130 level when complete. We'll see how it goes. But overall, there's nothing to suggest that there is nothing, let's say, conclusive that we have a top in place, but there is nothing to suggest that either that we get more of a rally. So we're in that kind of gray zone now. You can see that's the kind of outlier B wave top of an expanded flat, but that is not in my count, that is not the final, let's say, high for the pattern. The final high actually came in lower at 145.30. I might be proved wrong on that, but for the moment we still have a wedge, expanding wedge lower, possible wave 1. We could read that as 3 waves higher, wave 2. I don't know just yet. We'll have to see how the next couple of days go and see if the pattern needs updating or if we actually fall in line with what's happening here or fall in line with what I'm suggesting here. Okay, so let's move on to stock market. If we go to the daily count, there's actually a few ways that we can view this whole decline off the high. Maybe, yeah, I'll show you. There is every chance that we have a wedge wave 1. Maybe a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down in wave 1. And there is every chance that we have an expanded flat correction still underway here. Now, this is not my preferred count, but I don't think we should. I don't think I should discount it either. So, if that's a wedge, decline in wave 1, maybe wave 2 is already done. Maybe I'm being too, let's say, lenient with it there. If we have, I'll just actually get the pattern in place here. Wave 1 and 2. All right. Okay. We have a 5-wave decline. That could be a wedge wave 1. Or you could call it a leading diagonal. It depends on, your own parlance there. A 3-wave rally in wave 2. For pig iron, let's see, what was the retracement on that? Just to the 62% retracement, just pip above the 62% retracement level of wave 1. So that counts as a solid second wave retracement. And if that is the case, then we should expect wave 3 to manifest from here on out. Now, what has happened so far? Well, we have at least a series of impulse waves, maybe a full developing wave 1 as 5 waves lower. It depends on how you want to count that internally, but we'll go to the hourly count in a second. This could be a wave 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 to begin a third wave. That kind of waterfall moment that I've been looking for over the last few weeks, which hasn't developed yet. But we still have, I suppose if you're looking at the daily count, we still have that kind of very impulsive decline. We're hanging near the lows of the actual, the whole pattern, or the whole decline. We did punch through the low. So, we can't discount this completely either. Let's go to the hourly count, or the 4-hour count, and we'll see what I'm working with on the 4-hour count. Now, here's another valid count. This is a series of 1-2s. So we have wave 1 and 2 off the high, wave 1 and 2 towards that summer high back in August. Then we have a wave 1 and 2, and again a possible wave 1 and 2. So that's a series of 4 impulse waves lower. And if that is correct, the next decline should knock our hats off completely, because there should be a point where the acceleration lower is just impossible to fight. I'll go to the hourly count and I'll show you. This is a kind of an expanded version of the 4-hour count there. So we've got wave 1 and 2 in blue, and we've got 5 waves down. Wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in wave 1. A up, 3 down in B to a new low, 5-wave pattern higher in wave C. So that's a 335 expanded flat correction in wave 2. The price did not, it didn't break the 50% retracement. We kind of came up to, like, let's say, that internal shoulder here around wave 1 and wave 2, and we have so far failed any breakout. So the decline, let's say, off that a weekly high here in wave 2 is not big enough to, let's say, confirm wave 3 is underway yet, but the action is there, the pattern is in place. The internal pattern is in place. The overall pattern is still solid. So all we need is the actual market action to confirm this. So if this count is correct, then we are going to hit that point of no return, that point of complete abandonment, where market participants basically just give up. The hand of God is taken off and it's gone. You all know that happened, in 2009. Although I do expect this one to be much worse. A much better example, let's say, of a catastrophic decline. Okay, so if this count is correct, then next week will be very interesting to the downside again. Okay, so what do I expect? I think I've gone over there. The pattern suggests that my outlook for, let's say, that waterfall decline, that unstoppable momentum burst downwards, is going to come our way. That's what the pattern suggests. I suppose we just need confirmation on that. So let's see how it goes. If you want nightly updates, just come join the website. We'll see. Okay, let's go to gold. Now this week, finally, we have enough of an upside push to actually turn bullish on gold, I think. I can't guarantee this with my life or anything, but we do seem to have an ending diagonal pattern in place for wave 5. I was actually working with a 4th wave correction and then one more push lower, complete wave 5. But the rally this week has been substantial enough to not rule the previous count out, but to at least rule the bullish option in. And that is what I'm working with right now. And I'll show you that in the hourly count. So if this, if the low is finally in for wave 4, then we should be seeing, significant rallies over the coming few months. Okay, so here's what we have so far off the low. We have wave 1 and 2, then we have an extension in wave 3, wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 3. What seems to be, it could be a triangle developing wave 4. I mean, we could have a contraction triangle underway. I don't know about that. I'm sticking with the flat correction wave 4 for the moment. We've got 3 waves down in A, possible 3 waves up in wave B, and maybe 5 waves underway now down in wave C. If we get a push down towards 1680 again, and we complete 3 waves, then that'll set us up for wave 4 or wave 5 next week. Overall, once we do get 5 waves up, I will be expecting a corrective higher low to build in wave 2. So that kind of joy kill decline in wave 2 is probably still ahead of us, and will probably fall back towards that 1660, 1650 area again for wave 2 to complete. But once this larger degree 1-2 pattern is in place, then we're probably off to the races in gold. We'll see how that develops over the next day or two in wave 4 and 5 of wave 1. Well, if this happens, if we complete wave 5 up, let's say by midweek next week, I'll be looking for a turn down into wave 2 by the end of next week. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, let's move on. Crude oil. We'll go to the 4-hour count. This is the count I've changed to this week. Just the rally this week has not actually invalidated. It hasn't invalidated the previous count. We didn't break above 89.55 yet, but we've come far enough to signal that maybe there's something else going on here that I was willing to consider before. So we're looking at a wave 1 and an expanded flat correction wave 2. The reason being, with this, this decline into a new low fits a 3-wave pattern quite well. So we could have 3 up in A, 3 down in B, and then a 5-wave rally in wave C underway. And I'll show you that in the hourly count now. Oh, excuse me. This is the 3 up in A. 2. Forgive me. This is what I'm looking at here. Sorry, miscommunication on my 4-hour count. I'll get it for you. No, sorry. 3 up in A, 3 down in B, and 3 up in, or sorry, 5 up in C. That's what I'm working with right now. Let's go. Actually, I've just after realizing I have an alternate count on the 4-hour count. Anyway, don't worry about that. What I'm working with on the hourly count is a wave 1 decline, an expanded flat correction wave 2. We could go higher to let's say the higher alternate here for a wave 2 in blue, and that still counts quite well on the 4-hour count. And actually, I'm going to show you that right now, because that is what I was looking at previously. Okay, the alternate count wave 2 in blue would be wave C up here of wave 2. So 3 up in A, 3 down in B, and 5-wave rally in wave C. This count would suggest a rally towards 97. The main count suggests a rally into about 90 to complete 5 waves up in wave C of 2 at a lower degree. So A, B, and C, expanded flat correction is still the preferred count for both the main count and the alternate. I know I'm losing people here, forgive me, but the main thing to take away here is, if we see 5 waves up complete with a break of $90 again, I think that will open up let's say the trapdoor, or that opportunity to look for a downside move again, and quite possibly a large acceleration lower in a 3rd wave. So we're still working with this corrective kind of malaise at the moment in crude oil. It seems to be that we're completing an expanded flat, although last week's count has not been ruled out. But if we get a break of $90 again, we complete 5 waves up, I'll be looking for a third wave down to begin. Okay, so let's get to the S&P. This is a 4-hour count in the S&P. You can see a reasonably similar count going on here. Wave 1 and 2 off the high, wave 1 and 2 into the summer high, and then a possible 5 waves down I'm tracking here in wave 1 and 2 at a lower degree. So it's a slightly different interpretation of the action off the August high. So if we go here to the hourly count, you can see I have the alternate count here is the main wave count in the Dow. We've got 5 waves down in wave 1 blue, 3 up in wave 2 blue, 5 down in 1 pink, 3 up in 2 pink, and we should be moving into a third wave decline if the alternate count is correct. Now, the main count shows 1, 2, 3, 4 underway or complete, and wave 5 down of wave 1 coming our way. Could be coming our way today, actually, but we'll see how it goes. We don't have a break of that internal high there at 3,900. The internal low at 3,900 of wave 1. If we break 3,900, that will trigger the alternate count here, and we'll still be looking for a third wave. But so suffice to say, as has been my outlook for all of this year, we are not at the capitulation point yet. For some reason, the market participants, seem to be in a complete haze, complete daze. That kind of fear moment has not been triggered yet, but once that fear moment is triggered, it'll be a kind of a woe betide you moment. And then that long-awaited third of a third decline does come our way. And, look out below for your 401k, as they say. Okay, so next week, I want confirmation on the main pattern, but if we do break 3,900, then we switch to that alternate pattern, and we still look for wave 3 to begin next week. Okay, so let's get to the count in silver. Is that the daily count? Here we go. This is the 4-hour count. This is the main operating count I'm working with in silver right now. We have a third wave decline complete. We have a pretty standard 3-wave correction higher in wave 4. We have hit internal pivots there. The internal pivot for wave 3, the internal pivot for wave 1 of 3, for wave 4 of 3, and now we seem to have hit some sort of a weak patch anyway. I'm not sure whether we've had the turn lower yet into wave 5. That should be confirmed today, I suppose. For the moment, I'm allowing this 3-wave pattern. You can see wave 3 low, ABC up in wave A, ABC down in wave B, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 up in wave C. So that's a flat correction with wave 5 left to complete, and then we look for wave 1 of 5 of C to come along. So wave 1 of 5 should break back down below, probably back down below $19 again, to indicate that the reversal into wave 5 is underway. Now, I know I've turned, pretty super bullish in gold at this point, and I'm still bearish in silver, but until the pattern suggests otherwise, this is a 3-wave correction higher. It's a 4th wave, and we should look for one last gasp move lower into wave 5. Okay, so let's go to Bitcoin. This is the 4-hour count. Actually, let's go to the daily count. That is December last year. That is the high I was pointing out on that nightly update. That 68,000 high. We were looking at a B wave high, 3 waves up to a new high, and expecting a 5-wave decline to back towards this left shoulder here, somewhere around 10,000, maybe as low as 3,000. We're not even there yet. I think we have another steep leg lower to go in Bitcoin, but we're much closer now than we were back at 70,000. So don't let anyone tell you that there patterns in the stock market or patterns in financial markets do not work, because this was a clear pattern screaming out up at 70,000 that we were going to break down majorly and badly, and we have done that throughout the whole year. Okay, so let's get into the forward count, and I'll show you what I'm thinking here. I'm actually being, let's say, a little bit, how would you say, more forgiving on the 4-hour and hourly counts here, but we have a possible, maybe we're looking at wave 5 already underway in wave C. So we've got wave 3 low, maybe a triangle count for wave 4. We have that kind of long, road to nowhere that's gone on over the last 3 or 4 months now, since June. So July, August, September, October, 4 months sideways. Pretty classic contraction in range here. So triangle is definitely on my radar here for wave 4, and then I will be looking for confirmation of a decline into wave 5. Now you can view that 2 ways. You can view that as wave 5 of 3 or wave 5 of 5. I'm being, let's say, generous towards Bitcoin here, and I'm looking at wave 5 of 5 here. If we go to the hourly count here, you can see that's the contraction in the pattern over the last 4 months, working out as a B wave low, C wave high. We should have wave D and E left to go, so it may even suggest another week of sideways action here before we complete wave D and E, and then we'd look for an impulsive move lower to break down into wave 5. So that is the outlook. Let's get to the NASDAQ here. The NASDAQ, not a whole lot different than the S&P, well, the Dow actually at this moment. I'm looking at a 1-2 decline into the summer high, 1-2 into the September high, and then a 1-2 off that, now leading our way into a third wave decline. So we've got that 1-2 in blue into that high in September, wave 1, expanded flat wave correction, wave 2 into this week's high, and I will be looking for a turnover down into wave 3 of 3 over the next week or so. We should know by midweek next week whether this is applicable or not. If we get an all-out decline across the markets next week, this pattern has been correct. So that is that for the markets. Thanks for watching. If you are interested in nightly updates, head over to bullwise.org. And if you are interested in hanging on for the next minute or so, I'll show you how we can finally meet in heaven. I always mention or start, or let's say, I always finish each weekly presentation with a presentation of the gospel, the good news, that is the Messiah of Israel, Yeshua, who came and died for our sin, paid the price for your sin, and took it to the cross. And if you accept that he died for your sin, and you accept that he is the Son of the living God, and he rose again to show that he left the sin in the grave, as it were. If you accept that, then you are saved. If you believe it in your heart, then you're saved, and I'll see you in heaven. As Paul said, when the jailer shouted out to him, "How am I to be saved?" and he shouted back to the jailer, "Believe in the Lord Jesus, and you and your family will be saved." So I would suggest that, if you are the head of a family, if you are the spiritual head of a family, that is, the father of your troop, I would seriously suggest that you look towards your eternal life, because you can lead your family towards eternal salvation. The words of the Apostle Paul, not me. Look, people say that I've had so many comments, people saying, how could someone so smart be so effing dumb? Speaking of me, that is, smart guy, but, wish he'd, grow up and wake up and say, that there is no life after death. But I've seen too much in this life, man. Seen too much on the spiritual side of things to have any doubt whatsoever that our physical representation on earth is definitely not the end of this story. Even if you go down to your own personal DNA, Do you realize that your code, your DNA code, is over 50 billion characters long? It would take you 50 years to write it out. Even that alone should tell you that something so complex, that design, that program that's so complex and so perfect, that's written inside your cells, that it's actually the densest accumulation of information in the universe, the known universe. That your DNA code inside your cells is the densest communication of information in creation. That alone should tell you that we are not random, happenstances that rose up out of the swamps as green blobs and developed arms and then decided that coffee's nice, but rather something more extensive is going on. Now, I think I never know how to end this, or how to present it better. I'm sorry, Lord, I don't know. I'm not a street preacher. I would just suggest that you, before you shuffle off the mortal coil, that you look to Jesus, because you have nothing to lose, to be quite honest, and everything to gain. Eternal life is found only by one name, and that is the Lord Jesus Christ, Yeshua, the Messiah. And if I have any Jewish friends listening, it's time that you look towards your Savior, your Messiah, because he's coming back soon. All right, that is that. Check out my other channel if you want more information on that. And with that, I bid you all adieu, if there's anybody still listening. See you next week. If you want nightly updates in Elliott Wave, on the Elliott Wave patterns operating in the markets, check out bullwaves.org. And until next week, if I'm still here, sayonara, signing off. Bye-bye.